Okay, just picture this for a second. Your bags are packed, you've said all your goodbyes, and you're finally at the airport. Ticket in hand. You're ready for a trip you've been planning for months. But right when you get to the immigration counter, an officer just pulls you aside and says, "Sorry, you can't fly." It's a horrible situation, and it's becoming a huge problem for travelers in Pakistan. So today, we're going to break down exactly what it means to be offloaded, and more importantly, what your rights are. So let's just get right to it. Can they actually stop you from traveling? I mean, you've got a valid ticket, a valid visa, a passport. Shouldn't that be enough? Well, the short answer is, unfortunately, yes, they can stop you. But the real question, the one that really matters, is whether they can do it legally.
And this really is the nightmare scenario we're talking about. It's so much more than just a missed flight. Think about it. It's the huge financial hit from non-refundable tickets and hotels. It's that crushing feeling of disappointment. For you, for your family waiting for you on the other side. It's just this moment of total stress and confusion. All your plans just gone in an instant. And usually with no clear explanation.
All right, let's pivot a little bit, because this is where we shift from the problem to the actual solution. See, the most powerful tool you have in this situation isn't getting into an argument with the airport staff. It's the Constitution of Pakistan. You have a fundamental constitutional right to travel. Now, this is Article 15 of the Constitution, and what's so important here is how the courts have interpreted it over the years. They have consistently ruled that this right to move freely includes the right to travel abroad. This is the legal bedrock, the very foundation of your freedom to leave the country. You got to remember, it's not a privilege they're giving you. It is your right.
So if you remember just one thing from this whole explainer, make it this number, 15, Article 15. This is your shield. This one number represents your constitutional guarantee of free movement. It's incredibly important.
So you might be thinking, okay, if I have this constitutional right, how on earth can they stop me? Well, the justification they almost always give is that your name is on some kind of list. But what even are these lists? It all sounds so mysterious, but it's actually pretty specific, so let's pull back the curtain and demystify them. First off, you'll probably hear the term stop list. The best way to think about this is as a big umbrella category. It's not one single list, but more of a general term that officials use for any official record that flags a person and stops them from traveling. Now, under that big stop list umbrella, you've got more specific ones, and one of the most common is the PNL. The P here stands for provisional, and that's the key word. This is a temporary list. It's managed by the FIA, and it's for people who are currently under investigation, basically to make sure they don't leave while an inquiry is happening. And then you have the big one, the ECL, or the Exit Control List. Now, this is a whole lot more formal and a lot more serious. It's managed directly by the federal government, and getting your name put on this list is a major legal move. It's designed to be a much more permanent restriction than the PNIL. So figuring out which list you're supposedly on is really the first step to fighting back. Okay, so you've been stopped. They told you you're on a list. You know your rights under Article 15 have just been violated. What do you do now? Well, you don't just have to stand there and take it. There is a clear, actionable legal plan you can follow. And here it is, a clear three-step process. Let's walk through it. First, you can immediately file something called a Writ petition in the High Court. This is a really powerful move that legally forces the authorities to show up and justify exactly why they stopped you. Step 2, you begin the formal process of getting your name taken off the list, whether it's the PNIL or the ECL. And third, and this is a big one, if a court actually rules that you can travel and an official ignores that order, you can go after them directly with contempt of court proceedings. This holds them personally accountable. So the whole point here is to completely shift your mindset. You're not just some helpless passenger who is at the mercy of whatever an official decides. No, you are a citizen with constitutional rights, and there are legal ways available to you to protect them. And this really gets to the very heart of the matter. It's put so powerfully here, don't suffer injustice in silence. Being offloaded feels unfair because if it's done without proper legal cause, it is an injustice. And staying silent just allows it to keep happening. All right, so let's do a quick recap of the big takeaways. First, being stopped at the airport is a serious, really upsetting experience, but it is not hopeless. Second, your right to travel is anchored in Article 15 of the Constitution. Third, knowing the difference between the PNIL and the ECL is absolutely crucial. Fourth, there is a clear legal path to fight back if you're offloaded unfairly. And maybe most importantly, knowledge of all this stuff, that is your first and your best line of defense.
Which brings us to our final question for you to think about. Before today, were you really aware of your travel rights? You see, knowing this stuff doesn't just help you if something goes wrong, it empowers you every single time you go to the airport. It changes you from just being a passenger into an informed, empowered citizen.